Here in the UK, we've learned today that high street fashion chains Oasis and Warehouse have collapsed into administration, affecting 2,000 workers across 92 branches. The administrator Deloitte says that over 1,800 employees will be furloughed, with 202 redundancies. Let's speak to retail analyst Kate Hardcastle. Just been hearing there, Kate, the picture in the United States where people obviously don't have money to spend. It's very much the same picture here in the UK.
And that's it. Fashion isn't seen as an essential purchase either. And although over recent years, fashion has definitely been a boom marketplace, it's been particularly in the fashion arena of fast fashion. And certainly we've seen a lot more contributing elements coming in when consumers are thinking about how they want to buy that fashion. We've seen things like rental market explode into the marketplace. We've seen the discounters come into the marketplace, the environmental elements. So brands like Oasis and Warehouse that had they were the darlings of the high street, maybe in the late 90s, the early noughties, who've had troubled times of late. This is just going to absolutely compound the effect that they're experiencing, and that's why we've heard the news today.
And there was nothing in the business interruption loans that would have saved those two stores?
I think if anyone looks at the realism of what they would need strategically with the turnaround, the investment in stores, and also the connectivity with the consumer, it's not the only measure. But if you look at a brand like Primark that's got millions of followers online, on Instagram, and Zara, again, millions. These are brands that had a few 100,000. They'd lost their way a little bit. Again, this lack of clarity affecting fashion brands also like Marks and Spencer's, where they're just losing voice with that very demanding consumer. I think it would be hard to think, well, actually, if we carry on rebooting them, reinvesting in them, are they actually going to make it? Are they actually going to connect with the customer and have a vibrant future? I think this is the case where there's just so much competition. All we're seeing perhaps with the pandemic effect is this fast forwarding of what's actually already happening in that sector.
It's a big week, obviously, for the high street, because payroll on April 25th, I think it is, next week, isn't it? Do you see, when you generally look at retail, do you see the sort of V-shaped recovery, or is it too soon to say?
It's a little too soon to say, but we buy emotionally. Anything that's not essential, there's certainly an emotional element to it. And we've got to think about how the consumer's going to feel after all of this. They're going to be very wary. They're going to be clear that there's financial challenges ahead. They're going to be very aware they're going to have to tighten their belts. That means non-essential purchases really do start to go into the microscope, and then it will be the operators that can offer the best value that get say. Luxury tends to go a bit untouched in all times, but it will be that middle market where the belt is firmly tightened and squeezed, and we'll see more erosion there.
Kate, thank you very much for your analysis. Kate Hardcastle there. Good to get a view of the UK high street.